Hey everybody, I'm back. Well, I wish this video was all about my sabbatical, but it isn't, because on my first day back in the office, Governor Edward passed a new mask mandate. So our session met Wednesday night to answer two questions. First of all, what does this statewide mask mandate mean for us? What does it say? And secondly, how does the revealed word of God respond to this mandate? So let me give you the session's answers to those questions quickly. Well, what does the mask mandate actually say? In short, if you're in a public space, which includes our church, and you can't keep 6 feet distance from others, you need to wear a mask. And that applies to people ages 5 and up. But why now? Well, I'm sure you've all heard about the Delta variant and the significant spike that's happening in our community here. This variant's much more contagious than the prior one. Some say up to 10 times as contagious as the original COVID. With that reality, combined with the low vaccination rate in Louisiana, the governor has put in place a mask mandate. Now, data shows that 95% of the current inpatient folks have not been vaccinated. So that's a good reason you might want to consider getting a vaccine. I don't give medical advice, but talk to your doctor. 95% of those current inpatients have not been vaccinated. That's an indication that the vaccine is actually working to a very large degree. Now, I can assure you, no one on the session enjoys wearing a mask in worship, but our feelings aren't always the best basis on which to make a decision. We make decisions based on the word of God. And what would the Bible have to say about this mandate? Well, the first applicable texts are those that tell Christians to be the most cooperative, most submissive, most obedient citizens. 1 Peter 2 says that in an effort to glorify God, quote, be subject for the Lord's sake to every human institution, whether it be to the emperor as supreme or to governors. For this is the will of God, that by doing good, you should put to silence the ignorance of foolish people. Our default position should be to obey our governor, even when we disagree or find his mandate to be distasteful, in an effort to glorify God and to silence those who would accuse us of doing wrong. But there's another set of texts that stand in tension with that. Texts that demonstrate when it is appropriate to disobey earthly authorities, when they tell us to do what's wrong, or when they forbid us from doing what is right. So could wearing a mask when we gather cause us to sin? Listen, wearing a mask does hinder fellowship. It makes interaction awkward and less than ideal. But illness does the same thing. It separates us from each other. If our session felt that our governor was being onerous and it was preventing fellowship, we would communicate that to him. But we're able to take the mask off when we go outside together. We can take off the mask when we're preaching and when we're leading worship on stage. We can take it off when we're physically distant from each other. All of this makes us able to fellowship reasonably, even with these temporary measures in place. So here's where we are. We don't intend to change our worship service at this time. On Sunday morning, our indoor volunteers and staff, including all children's ministry volunteers, will be required to wear masks, but we have no new policy for our congregation. But as a session tasked with the safety of our flock, we want to ask you to seriously consider wearing a mask if you plan to attend worship on Sunday. If you find wearing a mask frustrating and stifling, I encourage you to read 1 Peter chapter 2. We will not bind your conscience on this matter, but we will encourage you to interpret and read that text consistently with how you read other texts in the Bible. It's good to be back, believe it or not. I can't wait to see each and every one of you on Sunday morning. I think I remember how to preach. We'll see, and we'll see you then.